What's going on? You know who it is. It's Altone. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Altone Fishing. You've been fishing all day and you get a bite and you miss the fish. It pisses you off. I mean, you get really irritated. It's ridiculously irritating. Can't believe it. Got him. Whoa. Good God. Dude, you fighting. That was terrible. And you swallowed this bad. He swallowed it. Whew. Good God. This dude is strong too. After all that fighting, finally got one. Whew. And he ain't no little fella either. He is strong. All right. And there you go. So I need you're getting ready to start fighting again, aren't you? So let's take a picture of this guy. So right now my bait is sitting. I don't know if you can really see it. There's a little twig or a branch laying in the water there. And I put my bait right next to it basically. And this is round about where I caught the fish at yesterday. I'm sorry if the video's a little shaky, but I said standing on these rocks with no boots on, I'm pretty much constantly looking around my feet to see what's going on around me, because I said I don't want to get, I don't want a snake to sneak up on me, and I don't want me and spiders don't get along. It's just one of my things, so it's kind of hard. So I see these guys doing these fishing videos, and they're all up in, they'd walk all up in the middle of that fishing. And yes, I was in the military. Yes, there's certain things that I had to do as I was in the military, but honestly, when it comes down to it at this point, yeah, I'll do stuff and there is a small little fish following it, which is pretty cool. I'll do stuff when I have to. But if I don't have to, I don't do it. I mean, that's just me. If it's not something I absolutely have to do, I'm not gonna do it. So if I had to, it's like camping. It's not something that I care for. I'm not a camper. But if I have to, or I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll find myself in a situation where I'll decide, you know what? Let's go camping. Something my wife wanted to do, which she's not. I don't think she's really into that kind of thing at all. But if it's something she wanted to do, or if it's a vacation or something we planned, I suck it up and I deal with it. But for me to just voluntarily have to lay out here and sleep. Now, I mean, sleeping on this hill is with as many bugs and stuff as there are out here, because I don't like bugs, but I can do it. That wouldn't bother me too much. And I always make provisions for myself, right? But I don't know if that's a fish I'm looking at or what. But I just felt a tap, but that could have been just my bait hitting something as I was reeling at the end. But as far as me actually going camping or going through stuff like this, if I don't have to, nah. I'll leave that for you gung-ho guys that like to run around and hunt and all that kind of stuff, and don't mind digging into and maybe that's part of the reason why I have not been catching the type of fish or as many fish this summer as I've wanted to, is because I just don't do that kind of thing. So I say you catch more fish if you can't be afraid of losing your lure or losing your bait. I've lost plenty of lures, one of which was quite a bit of money. I'm not going to say how much it was, but it was expensive. Actually, I lost two very good ones. And so for me, I get that, but I'm not trying to lose them because of the fact that they are not cheap. That's a rock I'm looking at because I just swam this right by it and it did not move. So it's obviously not a fish, because I don't think he would have just sat there with this thing swimming right across him. He might not have chased it, but he wouldn't have sat there. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. There we go. That's a good spot. Right next to the shore. As I'm sure there's plenty of bait fish there. I don't know if that was me or what. But I felt something. And there it is again. Are we going to catch a fish? Come on. If you want it, take it. Commit to it. I see my line going out a little bit, and then so what I'm doing is I'm just slowly straightening this line out and tightening it up. I'm not feeling any taps right now. Now my line is completely straight. Release it just a little bit. Tap on it one time. And nothing. Yeah, looks like I got one. If that's a fish, he is very strong. Have my line going, and it looks like I might have gotten caught in something. Yeah, I got caught on something. Don't you hate it when that happens? 'Cause that is not a fish. So it was. He would be moving. So, yeah, and I'm really caught, really stuck. So what I'm going to do is what I normally do. I'm going to pull this, I'm going to let some slack out on this line, and I'm going to let it sit. Now this is one of the things that I do a lot is, if I do find out that I find myself caught, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put a lot of slack in the line, and I'll sit this rod down for a little bit. Bring it up here on the hill. And this is my main rod. This is the size bait that I use the most, basically. So if there's a fish that took it into the rocks, if I let and this works sometimes, there's a fish that took it into the rocks, and at this point he's realized, you know what, if he's still on it, eventually what he's going to do is come out of those rocks good enough that I can grab that. I'll be free. I can get out of there, unless I've got the hook wedged into some rocks or something, which is a good possibility. If that's the case, I'm gonna keep. I'll put a lot of pressure on it. Sometimes I use my hand, wrap it around with the glove on, wrap it around the bait, and wrap it around the bait and let it sit. And pull it. Nice firm pull. And a lot of times sometimes I can free it that way. Other times it doesn't free it. It's just there. All I do is break off the hook. The leader will break. Usually right at the hook. And that'll be it. Not as far out as I wanted to get. I want to get closer to that dock over there. But if there's any big fish over there, they'll probably go after this. Just now there's a big old splash over here. And I cast pretty close, not right on top of where that splash was, but pretty close to it, to see if I can get whatever that was to bite this big old 7-inch Gary Yamamoto I got on this thing. In a few minutes I got the other rod stuck, so what I did was I left it sitting. I put some slack in the line. I imagine some small fish, because something was on it. Took it into some rocks or under some cover or something, so I'm hoping that by giving it some time with the line slack, it'll kind of release. If you're on a boat, you probably don't have time to do that. Usually you're just going to end up losing that, or going ahead and breaking that line off. But there's a really large splash right there by that pier, and if I had my topwater lure, I would be throwing it right now, but I don't, because I didn't want to bring that extra rod with me. So I'm sticking with Senkos and a fluke. Hopefully whatever that was will bite this. It's crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cast right toward that dock. I'll go ahead and bring it back in. Okay, that was better. That's a really good spot for it. Right next to the dock. Not under it, but right next to it. I'm not good enough to pitch this big heavy-weighted worm right up underneath that dock. Now this thing may be too big for whatever's under there. It just depends on the size, because I know this thing will catch a 2-pound. It'll catch a 2 to 3 pound bass. Whatever it was that splashed earlier had some weight to it. So I guess it's now time for me to see if I can get that other one out. If I can get that other one out and keep my bait, then this is the spot to come to, right up underneath there. And I can go to the edge over here and pitch out and see if I have any luck too, but I'm only going to be out for another maybe 30 minutes. So hopefully whatever this line is stuck on that is freed now. Ah, perfect. Excellent. And that worked. So again, what I did was I was stuck on something. I don't know what I was stuck on, but I let a whole lot of slack out on this line. And like I said, if you're on a boat, you're probably not going to be able to do that. But I let a ton of slack out on this line, and just let it sit. And that way, if there was a fish that just took it up into some rocks or something like that, if he was still holding on to that bait as I'm trying to yank it out, he might eventually come out of those rocks. And if he does, it's a possibility he could free my line, free my bait and my hook from whatever it was hooked on. Yeah. And so what do? I go ahead and get myself hooked in between two other rocks. But there it is. He must have took the tail and took it in some rocks. I did see a small bass over here. So now that I got this bad boy back, which is absolutely awesome, I'm going over here toward this dock with a smaller presentation and see. Basically, it's still a Senko, but he's got a little tail and he's a little bit smaller. And see if this works. And if it does, then we'll have a fish. If it doesn't, we won't have a fish. Simple as that, right? So let's go ahead and get over here and try this bad boy out in this area. And the good thing about here is at least pitching right up against this area. It's possible there's some things I could get actually hung up on, but for the most part, there shouldn't be a whole lot there. So that's pretty close. It's close enough for government work. How about that? This dude is fighting. Whew. Good Lord. I wonder if you're the same one that grabbed it earlier. He ain't no little fella either. So I'm not sure. It's pretty dark. I have to put some light on him. But he ain't no little fella. The bass are out. It's getting dark now. But let's see if I can get a little bit of light on this guy real quick. So there you go. It's good size. I don't know how many inches he is. Looks like good, maybe 14 inches. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see if I can get a picture real quick. So it looks to me like I have to wait until it gets a little darker and start catching them. Yep, got one. And this dude is strong. It feels like I got something. Yeah, he's there. He's strong. But I got one. The problem is I've got him, and it looks like somebody else's line as well. Now that's ridiculous. How the heck does something like some kid's rod? That's just lovely. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And how come he's not fighting? And this is the reason why. Got you. Well, nice Saturday morning, early Saturday morning fish. And I know that they were. Okay, see you later, dude. So I gotta do something about this. Some kid's line. This is ridiculous. I'm pulling him in along with this. With a twig on it, no doubt. But I do know that I caught this guy. That means there's more over here. And this thing needs to go in the garbage. And now I gotta put another. I caught one. Early morning. So he must have wrapped up into that kid's line. So this is the kind of crap goes in the garbage. Ish. It's just nasty. That's what happens. So that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. As I've said before, I don't know what it is. You know, the weather's been changing. It's getting cooler, and then it warms up again, and who knows what's going on out there, right? But the good thing is that we are starting to catch a few more, and hopefully things will get good. If you like the content, please make sure you hit that subscribe button below and drop a comment. Because every single thing, every single comment, and every single like and view helps me to continue to create videos like this. And I'm hoping that soon I'll be able to actually get out to other lakes and that kind of thing and do some fishing there. Probably have some better luck. So thank you for watching. Talk to you again very soon. Peace.